Hey everyone, Mystical Mark here. So this will be your intuitive astrology forecast for September 7th to the 13th of 2025. Now in this video, I'm going to go through all of both the major and minor aspects that will be happening this week and intuitively tune into them to get my own guidance basically on intuitively what all that is going to mean. Now, when I intuitively tune in, I, of course, am tuning into my own higher self to get that guidance. Other times, if I'm looking at the chart and I'm just kind of getting stuff, that can come from my higher self, as well as it usually just comes from my own guardian angels, okay? Yeah, and so before we get into the charts for this week, of course, as I say at the beginning of all of my videos, my guidance has been, and likely always will be, astrology is an energetic template conducive to certain things. Meaning that template exists, however, the analogy they gave me is it's like a math formula. The formula is there. That formula is the energetic template, but there's variables that exist within that formula, and of course we can change those variables, right? Because we have free will. So free will still exists within this, okay? It's not the astrology happening to you. It's the energies are there and things happen in certain ways, but you still have free will within that to choose, whatever, right? So, it's like your own higher self, in order to play the character of you that it wanted to play in this lifetime, had to come in at a certain time where the energies were conducive to creating that. Okay, so that's what I mean when I say all of that. I believe that's all I need to say here. Oh, the other thing they're reminding me of, because I do this intuitively, any kind of prediction that I do make is always, of course, subject to change. That goes for any reading, whether it's a card reading, any intuitive reading, astrology, whatever. Any prediction that is made is always subject to change because we have free will. You don't like the prediction? Do something to change it. All right? It's as simple as that. Okay, so with all that being said, let me just pop the chart up on my end here. Okay, and there we go. Let's get started for this week. So we're going to start here on Sunday, September 7th. And of course, this is the big day where we're going to have this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. As you can see here, the sun and the moon at 15 degrees with the nodes at 18 degrees. So this, I believe this is a total eclipse because it's happening within that range right next to the nodes, where we're going to have this, I wanted to say, intense total eclipse. So like I always do, I'm just going to intuitively tune in here to this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. I feel some strength to this initially. It's almost like there's stuff that has to get taken care of. I feel like that's that aspect of that sun in Virgo. There's stuff that has to be taken care of. Like it has to get taken care of like now, right? I feel like with that moon, it's stuff that's hidden because we're dealing with that Pisces energy. It's stuff that you may not be fully aware of, but you're becoming aware of, that has been hidden behind the scenes or that has just kind of existed there that needs to be worked on. It's like there's this very strong intensity of you can't really wait any longer to deal with this stuff. Like it has to seriously get done. And of course, the initial new moon in Virgo prior to this highlights the energy of the lunar month. And of course, in that video, I titled that video on YouTube, "You Gotta Fix This." And it was like all this stuff that has to get taken care of, that has to get fixed. And it's almost like this is really highlighting, I feel like with this full moon, it's highlighting that which is being hidden that needs to be fixed and really truly taken care of, right? Like you're really kind of beginning to see it now, being like, oh, this has existed, right? Because Pisces is like that veil, but this is, when you have a full moon, it's like a release. It's like illuminating that space, okay? I kind of feel it's more of like illuminating that space to see that, and that this has to get taken care of. Okay, we also have, you can see here with this sun point, there's this sesqui-square to Pluto retrograde as well, which could add to the intensity of this, because with that sesqui-square, it's like, not things that can't get swept under the rug any longer. It's like, no, like you've got to deal with this. Like this shit's got to change. It's got to transform. It's got to, and with the retrograde, it's stuff, the old stuff that you haven't dealt with, that it's like, okay, you have to deal with it now. I can tune in a bit more, maybe including with that sesqui square to Pluto there. What do we got? That's almost like you gotta, like, there's that intensity of Pluto. It's almost like there's no fucking around. Like there's no more fucking around. It's like you've got to do this. It just feels intense. Like that Pluto feels very pushy, is what it does. It feels very pushy, as in like it's that Scorpio energy that's like throwing it in your face. That's like, hey, this exists, so you should deal with it, right? And I often say that it's like the reason why people don't like Scorpio is because Scorpio makes them deal with their own shit. It makes them face what they gotta face. And people don't like that because they'd rather just ignore it and pretend to be happy than actually deal with their own shit and actually truly be happy, right? Because they feel like it's too much work, or they gotta deal with this crap or whatever else. It's like, no, roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty, and get in there and fucking deal with it, because that's the only way real change is actually ever gonna happen. Okay, so there's that. Let me tune in to see if there's anything else regarding this eclipse. Yeah, it just feels like there's stuff that has to be fixed and taken care of, really. It's just, and that part of it felt like on a global stage as well. So we could be seeing stuff on maybe a global stage too that is relating to, like stuff has to get taken care of, fixed. Like we can't just deal with this anymore. It's got to be dealt with. Okay, and this could be stuff, like I said, coming to the surface in some way here. Hey guys, is there anything else with this? They're not gonna give me any more. So that's that with that full moon lunar eclipse. Okay. Also on this day too, we're going to have Venus here, right smack dab in the middle of Leo, in sesqui square to Neptune retrograde, still at the beginning of Aries there. So let me just tune in to this Venus in sesqui square to Neptune. It feels like it's like a feminine energy. It feels like the feminine is aware. She's aware of something. Of almost what, because I feel like that Aries is like this action oriented of like what needs to get done, oddly enough. She can see it. She's making it aware. She's in the spotlight in Leo. And she can see, because of that Neptunian energy, she can almost like see intuitively through that to see it's like what needs to get done, what can't be swept under the rug any longer. Again, that's sesqui square aspect. What needs to get done, what can't be swept under the rug any longer. And she is clearly able to see that out with this aspect today, and I think that probably likely coincides with that vibe of that full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Now, is there anything else with this Venus and sesqui square to Neptune? Nope, they're not giving me anything else with that. So you have to remember, this is how this energy is, like these aspects exist, but it's like how it's used. And I feel like in relation to whatever this eclipse is how specifically that aspect is going to be relating to that in terms of what they're delivering to me here. Okay. Also on this day too, we're going to have basically Black Moon Lilith and the nodes making aspects to each other here. So we're going to have the North Node trine Black Moon Lilith, the South Node sextile Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio there. So let me just tune into this overall, this Black Moon Lilith aspecting the nodes. It almost, what I feel like is that Lilith energy, it's like you know what needs to get done. And there's this intensity that's like you can't deal with the bullshit anymore. It has to get let go of to be able to move forward. It's almost like I'm showing you, I'm helping you here with this intense transformative Scorpio energy. It's like this can't be here like this anymore. This has to get done. This has to get dealt with. Like it's like there's no more fucking around again with this energy. Okay, anything else in total with that? Okay, no. So can we go specific? Maybe Black Moon Lilith sextile the South Node there. It's kind of like basically just getting rid of what's not working. Remember, Black Moon Lilith, this is where we feel outcasted. So what is kind of pushing us in that direction? What's not working that keeps pushing us in where we feel outcasted, where we feel like put upon or in a place where we're, abused or whatever. So what practical aspect of that needs to get rid of so that doesn't happen anymore? Anything else with that Black Moon Lilith sextile? Okay, no. What about the trine to the North Node? Black Moon Lilith trine the North Node in Pisces. How do I say this? It's almost like there's an elusive or an unknown. It's like this direction, but it's like, do I really gotta go there in terms of this movement forward, right? So it's like you've got to go there, but maybe you're not quite sure again, or it's not fully seen, but you just have to take the step to move forward in a new direction and then trust in that step, and that you'll continue to be guided in moving forward, right? That's that Pisces energy. It's like you've got to go there, but you just don't necessarily know how, or you're not seeing everything fully clearly all at once. So, but it's like you just have to take that step, trust, and then keep continuing to move forward. Okay, anything else with that Black Moon Lilith trine the North Node? Nothing else. Okay. Keeping it simple this week, I guess. All right, so let's move on now to Monday, September 8th here. Now, on Monday the 8th, we're going to have Mercury here in sesquisquare to Chiron retrograde. So let me just tune in here, this Mercury in sesquisquare to Chiron. I feel like this fixing, like Mercury's in its other home sign in Virgo. There's like this aspect of like fixing, but it's relating to this Chiron energy. Remember, Chiron's retrograde, it's going over this old space, so these things that are being reworked in terms of where our wounds are, where we have been hurt or whatever. But it's this aspect of fixing things so that doesn't happen again, or fixing things to kind of like just deal with it, to be able to like heal and move forward. But there's this aspect, it's very Virgo, and with that Mercury in Virgo, of like fixing things. Remember that sesquisquare is it's a super square, right? So it's pushing for resolution, but it's something that can't be swept under the rug any longer. It's something that has to get dealt with, and there's this aspect of needing to fix that. Anything else with this Mercury in sesquisquare to Chiron? And what I'm getting is also, how can we fix this, right? So there's an aspect of how can we fix this? How can we fix this? How can we heal and move forward with this? Anything else with that? Not giving me anything else. Okay, so also we're going to have Mercury in this quintile to Juno here. So let me just tune into that. Mercury in quintile to Juno. Again, there's this Virgo energy. It feels like a lot of fixing, and it's okay. It's like this. We're not going to fully see it, but it's almost like there may be discussions or such going on behind the scenes to fix things surrounding partnerships, some type of committed partnerships or contracts or that kind of thing, where it's like, it seems like behind closed doors, like secret business meetings, or like what I'm being shown is almost like a fancy like high rise like corporate office building like in a city, and it's like the really big fancy, you know, like there's like marble floors and or whatever, right? And you're in this conference room and it's like discussing, you know, in the movies where you see and they invite you into the room and they pour you a drink and you're kind of sitting there talking like, you know, secret discussions about things. That's kind of what that feels like to me, because it's like discussing how you're going to fix this and stuff, and it's like it's not really known fully, but it's how you're gonna deal with that kind of stuff. Anything else with that? And nothing else with that one. Okay. Also, we're going to have this sun here in now peaking in the exact sesqui-square to Pluto retrograde. So let me just tune into this sun in sesqui-square to Pluto retrograde here. It's dealing with, okay, you know what changes you need to make and where you need to transform in those areas, and you need to do something to fix it and move. Okay, that Pluto energy is like, I ain't fucking around. I'm going over this old space, so you're being made aware of this, and this stuff needs to actually get fixed and changed and transformed. You know what you got to do? You got to do it. You got to fix it. Is what that really feels like to me. This has to get fixed, and it has to get fucking fixed now. Okay, that's what that really like. The vibe of that. Anything else regarding that Sun sesqui-square Pluto? Okay, they're not giving me anything else with that. And that looks to be it specifically for Monday. So let's move on to Tuesday here, the 9th. And of course, we're going to have Venus here making now minor aspects to the nodes. So we've got a quincunx to the north node and a semisextile to the south node. Okay, so overall, let me just tune into the overall aspect of Venus making these minor aspects to the nodes. Okay, initially what it feels like is there's this energy of almost like feeling stuck in this practical Virgo stuff and not maybe knowing how to fix. And I feel like that's related to that quincunx to the north node in terms of wanting to move forward. But there's like this stuck feeling. It's like there's a creative solution that needs to be had that maybe isn't necessarily, like the mind doesn't maybe understand it. Right, and there's it's frustrating because it's like you feel stuck in this old shit, and you don't know how exactly you can integrate that or solve the problem to be able to move forward. That's, you know, that can be what quincunxes feel like. Okay, let me separate this now to see if I get anything else. That Venus semisextile the south node. It just feels like there's this stuck, like, why am I still here kind of an energy. It's like, why am I still here? Why am I still stuck in this? Okay. And then there's this, with this quincunx to the north node here, let's tune into, well, is there anything else with that semisextile first of all? Okay, let's move on to the quincunx then. Venus, and just specifically quincunx north node. Yeah, it's like you want to go there, but it's like, it's almost like, how are you going to do it? It's almost like there's a block there, something in the way to that. And it requires, you know, oftentimes quincunxes will require some kind of creative solution in order to, you know, solve it in some way, right? So that's the vibe of that. Also, Venus will be in square to Black Moon Lilith on this day as well. So let me just kind of tune in here. This Venus in square to Black Moon Lilith. It almost gets, I get this, like, she ain't fucking around again kind of an energy. Like, there's an intensity to this. It's like, no, like, we've got to deal with this. It's like, it doesn't matter that you're stuck. It's like, we've got to, we need to deal with this. Like, that's how I kind of feel like this with this Lilith and Scorpio. It's like facing this stuff. It's like, no, we're not going to continue this old way anymore. Lilith is like, I'm in Scorpio, I'm looking to transform and deal with this shit. You're gonna fucking deal with it. I don't care. And it feels like a very strong, like, feminine energy, where it's almost like maybe the feminine feels a bit stuck, and it's like, no. Like, there's no staying in this spot. It's you need to figure out a way to move forward. I don't give a fuck about that, Queen Kunks. We're figuring out a way to move forward with this, okay? That's kind of what that energy feels like. Anything else with this? Venus square black moon Lilith. Okay, nothing else. They're not giving me anything else with that. So let's just move forward here then to, Wednesday, September 10th. And of course, we're going to have the Sun now conjunct the South Node and oppose the North Node. So now let me just tune into the overall energy of this. There's lots of nodal stuff happening and surrounding this eclipse season. I feel like there's something very strong with it's like you've really got to deal with something this week. This has to get done. Okay, so let me just tune in here. This Sun conjunct South Node, oppose the North Node. What I feel initially is like this is illuminating your path forward. Okay, and it's almost like with that conjunction to the South Node, fixing this old stuff that needs to get fixed or gotten rid of or gone through, or like, again, it's that Virgo and stuff, dealing with all those little things and shit and whatever. And then in doing so, but I almost feel like it's illuminating the path forward, which then allows you to understand maybe what all of that old stuff that you have to deal with and fix and all of that stuff, it needs to get taken care of so that you can go on to that path forward. It's like you see, it's like almost like it's illuminating it, you see it, but you have to deal with all this crap. But it's like you're doing it. It feels like we're doing it, and it's being taken care of so that you can move forward in that direction. Anything else with this nodal aspect here? I'm feeling something on a global stage as well surrounding this, whether somebody's speaking out. It feels like a politician, like getting in like on the podium or whatever, talking about this stuff. Is there any legitimacy to what they're saying, though? I'm almost getting like it just kind of got covered up. So whether you can take that literally as maybe there is some kind of a cover-up through what they're saying, or it's like they're just saying this and then it gets, like somebody says something and then it gets covered up. Is that... It's almost like they're pretending to deal with it. So something could come up politically, and then it's almost like they're pretending to deal with it than actually dealing with it. Okay, so just be mindful of that in this energy, too. Anything else surrounding that, specifically, politically? No. Okay, anything else relating to this aspect at all, or these two aspects anymore with this? It can feel like maybe on an individual level there is a potential for progress with this, though. So we see that globally, they may be lying to us and pretending to deal with shit, but on a personal level, this energy, it definitely feels like there is definitely opportunity for progress to be made here in some way. Okay. Anything else surrounding this now? Okay, now we're finished. Now we're good. Okay. So also on this day too, we're going to have a Venus here in a semi-sextile to Jupiter. So let me just tune into this. This Venus energy in semi-sextile to Jupiter. Okay, there feels like there's some, I don't know if this is like deep emotional stuff or whatever, it's not related to the feminine dealing with it, but I feel like she's helping to bring it up in some way through this expansiveness. And now this could be emotional, this could relate to family, this could be, but remember, Jupiter expands what it touches, and it's in Cancer. So any Cancer related stuff is going to be like overinflated at this point in time, for the duration of Jupiter in Cancer, really. But with this Venus in semi-sextile Jupiter, it almost feels like she may not be directly affected. It's like, but she's bringing up maybe certain, or it's almost like she's helping with certain maybe emotional issues, or whether it be family stuff related. But it feels like it's more like there's a depth to this, like that Cancerian, like there's a depth to this. And there's like an expanded awareness that she's bringing through in whatever way, okay? Again, when I talk about feminine, masculine, we all have both divine feminine and divine masculine energy within all of us. So, and it doesn't matter what your physical gender is, or your sexual orientation, or your gender expression. We have all of those, we have both of those energies within us, okay? And all that other stuff is still valid, of course. But this could be maybe a feminine aspect within yourself bringing this up, or someone who expresses as feminine, regardless of their physical gender, that is showing, giving awareness to these issues. It seems like issues in some way, because I feel like with Venus in Leo, there's this illumination, or this highlighting, or this bringing to the forefront. She's able to say these things about this stuff that is coming up here. Anything else with that Venus? Okay, no. All right, so and now the next up here, we're going to have on this day too, Mercury in sesqui-square to Pluto retrograde. So let me just tune into this now. Mercury in sesqui-square to Pluto retrograde. Initially what I got was like, it's regarding this change ultimately in transformation. It's like what needs to occur here, and it's almost like you're maybe already doing it. It's like and you maybe already have been in the process through to what all this other stuff is going on, and looking to take action to fix and repair and work on whatever needs to be worked on with this very Virgo, and especially with Mercury there, kind of an energy, right? But it's that aspect of Mercury also rules Gemini, the mind, communication. It's like it's like, and Pluto in Aquarius is there. It's like okay? It's that energy of like like, don't bullshit me, don't fuck around. It's like so take care of it. All right, anything else surrounding that? Not giving me anything else. Okay. And then looks like the last thing for this day too is the sun will be in sextile to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So, okay, let me tune into this now. Sun in sextile to Black Moon Lilith. It feels like she's helping to fix something. Honestly, this Lilith energy, this transformation, as she's there, it's this energy working together with this Virgo energy and helping to fix something. So it's almost like illuminating that awareness, or bringing that awareness, where this strong Lilith energy is not afraid to work, not afraid to get to the grind and really help to actually fix, in order for that Scorpio energy, that aspect, to heal, transform, etc. Whatever is going on here, right? So, or where you've been outcasted, or where the stuff has been happening and what needs to get fixed or occur in this way. So anything else surrounding that sun sextile Black Moon Lilith? Okay, no. All right, let's move on to then Thursday here, the 11th. Okay, and so Thursday here, the 11th, September 11th. So we're going to have Mercury here now will be conjunct the south node and oppose the north node. Lots of nodal stuff. We have this eclipse and then lots of nodal stuff. So there seems to be an aspect here of really taking care of things, fixing things, working on this, because there's a new path forward that it almost feels like is either needing to be created, or it almost feels like really it has been created, but you have to deal with this stuff now. And it's almost like what I'm almost feeling is you're forced onto that path. It's like this shit needs to get taken care of because it's no longer for you, because you need to be pushed in this new direction, and it's being taken care of in a lot of ways. Okay, so let me just tune in overall to this Mercury conjunct the south node opposed the north node here. Let me just tune in to this Mercury aspect. It feels like the nitty-gritty. Again, I'm getting more of that Virgo stuff. Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury's in Virgo. It feels very nitty gritty, like it taking care of what needs to get taken care of. With that south node stuff, it's like, okay, this isn't serving. This has to get let go of whatever. And then, but with the north node, it feels like, yes, it's just taking care of what needs to get well, actually, with that now, it's like letting go of what needs to be letting go of, really. In terms of taking care of that, taking care of something and letting go of what needs to let go of in order for this movement forward on this path. But it feels like there's definitely an awareness with this, communication involved with this. There's a strong awareness with this of what either needs to get taken care of, let go of, whatever, in order to move forward onto this new path going forward. The path may not be fully seen or fully elusive. It's like going on a trip, deciding to go to another country, and you're not fully sure what to the extent of which something is going to happen. But you know you need to do it. You know what's exciting. You know you've just got to take the step to go there and trust along the way. Okay, again, that North Node in Pisces, that's kind of what we're dealing with here. Anything else with these aspects with the Mercury? Okay, no. All right. So that's Thursday. Let's head on to Friday, September 12th here. And we're going to have the Sun here now in sextile to Jupiter, which will happen on this day. So let me just tune in here to this Sun in Virgo sextile to Jupiter. Again, I'm feeling that depth. But there's details now surrounding this. Whatever that depth, that emotional depth, or whatever that, it just feels like a depth of that Jupiter in Cancer is. And it's like now there's this aspect of maybe working with that Virgo energy. It's like this awareness and working at fixing it, working to help it, doing something about it to help with whatever it is. It's like Jupiter, it almost seems like Jupiter in Cancer is bringing up or expanding that depth in order to bring up whatever needs to be dealt with. And that could be, there's a lot of, it feels like just a lot of deep stuff, okay, that exists with this, and then it's now like kind of like being taken care of in whatever way with that Virgo energy. All right, so Sun sextile Jupiter. Anything else with that? Again, what I'm getting is more political stuff, but I feel like this is just for show again. So whatever is being brought up, it's almost like it seems like it's a PR move in whatever is going on politically. It seems like whatever they're saying that they're going to be dealing with is just basically like a PR move just to make it look like they're doing something to shut people up, and that's that. Okay, so just kind of be mindful of that here as well. Anything else regarding that political stuff? It just feels like, initially it feels like I'm going into whatever this energy is and then backing off. So like I said, it's like they're going to touch on it, and then they're just going to go away. So they're just going to pretend it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so like there's still some shady shit that seems to be going on here politically, specifically surrounding whatever. It's like they're not properly dealing with what actually needs to get fixed. Okay. Anything else with this Sun in sextile to Jupiter? Again, on an individual level, what I'm getting is there is potential here to properly deal with this stuff. Okay, so regardless of what you're being told or whatever is occurring politically or globally or whatever, you can just ignore, like, realize it for what it is, but don't think that individually that it's hindering whatever this could be for you, because it feels like there is a potential here to see something and recognize an issue for whatever that it is, and realize the work that needs to be done to fix it or realize it or whatever. So there is a potential for that here that could occur. Anything else with that? Okay, no, nothing else with that Sun sextile Jupiter. Also on this day, we're going to have Mercury here in sextile to Black Moon Lilith. So let me just tune into this. Mercury sextile Black Moon Lilith. It almost feels like there's a communication of... It could be intense communication, making things aware of regarding whatever it needs to be fixed, transformed, shifted. It's that Virgo and Scorpio working together in order to transform and fix, but there's like an intensity to this. It's like you're saying it for what it is, okay? You're saying it for what it is. You're talking about it for what it is. Like there's no buttering it up. There's no whatever. There's no bleeping out the swear words. There's nothing like that. It's like this communication, saying it for what it is and what needs to get fixed and dealt with in this way. It's like there's no fucking around. And with this Lilith energy, especially in Scorpio, I really feel like there's no fucking around. It's like you're saying it for what it is. You're seeing it for what it is in terms of these details and what needs to get fixed in whatever way that has to happen. Okay, anything else with this Mercury and sextile the Black Moon Lilith? No. Okay. Sun in biquintile to Chiron as well will be occurring on this day. Let me tune into this Sun in biquintile to Chiron retrograde. So it feels like there may be stuff or an awareness occurring behind the scenes of what needs to be healed or fixed. It's almost like hearing something about how someone was hurt. It's a feminine energy, what I get, and she's like listening to about how someone was hurt or whatever and wanting to actually do something to fix it or help it. This doesn't feel like something that's fully center stage or like global or anything. This could be on an individual level, or what it feels like is something that's maybe more of like a private conversation that is maybe had with someone or something like that. And they realize like, oh my God. And then but this feels like a very masculine-esque feminine energy. So it feels like someone who is, let's say, biologically female, but then represents maybe more of a masculine energy that is wanting to actually take action, do something to fix whatever situation that this is. So there's that emotional aspect of maybe the feminine, and it's like, what the fuck, how we went through that or whatever. But then there's that masculine at the same time in that feminine aspect that's wanting to take action to help whoever it was that was expressing that wound or that hurt to that person in order to help them to fix it. Okay, is how that really feels to me. So there's maybe a communication surrounding this, but this feels like it's more of a private conversation than something that is fully existing out there. Now, anything else surrounding that with that aspect? She's wanting to do something about it is what I get with this. She's wanting to do something about it to fix it because she feels like that's wrong. Now, I say this as as a descriptor of this general energy. So with all of these aspects, when I say what I'm getting, it's a descriptor of like the general energy to describe, give an example of what this energy is like. Okay, so it's not necessarily going to happen specifically like that for everyone, but that's the general energy of what this is. It's a descriptor, it's a way to describe what it's like, okay? It may not happen exactly in that way. Anything else with this Mercury in biquintile to Chiron? No. Okay, we're also going to have Mercury in sextile to Jupiter peaking on this day as well. So Mercury in sextile to Jupiter. I feel like this could relate to that Chiron energy, as there's an emotional depth surrounding maybe a communication or conversation that is coming through and maybe relating to certain details regarding certain things. Okay, with this energy. And it's like, it feels like it's bringing up stuff, and it may be shocking to some people. They may not have been fully aware of the details surrounding the depth of whatever is going on here. Whatever this Jupiter in Cancer, expansive of whatever this depth, emotional depth, or whatever that is coming up through this expression, surrounding details, surrounding what needs to get fixed, the realization of what needs to get fixed with this, etc. Anything else surrounding that Mercury in sextile to Jupiter? Nothing other than the fact that it's almost like related to that biquintile to Chiron, okay, is kind of what it's almost like relating to with that depth of that emotion too. That it's almost like they're relating to each other. Anything else surrounding that? No. Well, what I get is that same masculine-esque feminine. So what I mean is like, someone is appearing to me as a female or a feminine or a woman, but they're expressing like more of a masculine energy, okay? Like someone that you maybe would call like, some people would say like a tomboy or something like that, whereas they express, or they're willing to take action, or they express, or they're more, they seem more masculine than feminine. In terms of like maybe a traditional sense, or just in general, it feels like energetically they feel more masculine, but that masculine is actually with that feminine expression is really actually wanting to help. It feels it understands, and it's wanting to help in some way. And okay, what I get with this as well too is that Mercury will also be peaking in, the aspect that will be happening too is Mercury will be in biquintile to this Chiron as well. So it's not just the Sun, then it's also Mercury. So let me tune into this Mercury in biquintile to Chiron. What it feels like, it's the communicative aspect of this. So I feel like all of this is kind of interrelated. Everything that I've just talked about surrounding that scenario, all of that is interrelated today with these energies. And it feels like it's more like a private conversation or something that is personal that is happening here, but that feminine energy may be speaking about it to other people that to bring awareness, or that need to know. It doesn't really feel like it's going to expand out. It might. Or there's maybe a certain group that may find out. It's like how maybe gossip spreads between a certain faction of people, but it may not be like fully awareness to everyone. Or you may hear about it, but it's just something that's occurring that's maybe it's seen more privately than necessarily publicly. Anything else surrounding any of this stuff? Now, I feel like I'm going to just move on now. So that's Friday the 12th. Let's move on here to Saturday the 13th. Okay, and this, of course, is when we're going to have this Sun-Mercury Cazimi moment with the Sun, or Mercury conjunct the Sun. So let me just tune into this Sun-Mercury Cazimi, Mercury conjunct the Sun. Feels like a very heightened awareness of fixing things. It's very Virgo, fixing things, day-to-day stuff, taking care of things, all of that stuff. There's very strong heightened awareness surrounding this. It's very focused in that area. And again, what I feel like is this it's a feminine energy, but expressing as masculine. Really doing the work to take care of a lot of this stuff and understanding it and putting in the work to really like take care of this. And anything else surrounding that Sun-Mercury conjunction. It feels like there's an awareness. It may not feel like something that's very good, but there's an awareness that comes through here likely surrounding details or something that comes up in that sense. Anything else with that Sun-Mercury Cazimi? Okay, I'm not getting anything else with that. Also, we're going to have Venus here. Venus in biquintile to Saturn, retrograde now in Pisces. Sorry, my shoulder is like just... Yeah, okay. Venus in this biquintile to Saturn, retrograde in Pisces. I feel like they're working together. Like, Saturn is like... They're... like to help that feminine to be like to set, it's almost like dealing with the other people. It's like getting rid of that which is almost like in the way of positivity, or in the way of, or that has been hindering you, or that has been hindering other people. Like I said, Saturn in Pisces is like the dissolution of that malefic energy. It's like Saturn is there, it's like dissolving that negative energy. It's like Saturn is there helping the feminine. It's like, no, none of this negative crap can affect you anymore. It's like kind of like getting rid of it. Anything else with this aspect, that Venus in biquintile to Saturn? It's like she's putting in the work too. So I feel like there's it feels like there's this Leo aspect to this Venus energy. Like I said, there's this masculine energy that's being expressed through this feminine aspect where she's putting in the work. She's willing to take action and do this stuff and like get it out there, get it done. And Saturn is helping her with that, and kind of like not being a mean boss, but being like, okay, like we got to deal with this, do this, set a boundary to this, do that. It's like almost like telling her where to put in the work. But this feels, it's like that Leo awareness, or that illumination, or that expression is kind of like just with her. Okay, it just feels like it's just with her, and I feel like that relates to that biquintile energy, as this is happening almost like privately. In some way, or behind the scenes. It's not necessarily being hidden. It's just she's just doing it, and maybe it's just not very well known. All right, but Saturn is helping with what needs to get done, how this needs to get done, all this stuff that needs to get done is like blocking off all this other shit that could potentially like get in the way of that. Okay, there's a very strong supportive feminine energy, and with that Saturn energy is helping to put in the work, is helping the feminine to put in the work, helping her to know what to work on, and what goals to set, what she needs to do in these spaces, and then is almost like restricting, but in an appropriate way, to almost like be protective of her in whatever way to help. Okay? Also, we're going to have this Mars here in biquintile to the North Node in Pisces. So now let me just tap into this Mars in biquintile to the North Node in Pisces. I felt initially like this is almost like that masculine expressing through that feminine energy that I was talking about. Okay, but let me just tune in here. This Mars biquintile to the North Node in Pisces. There's definitely, it's related to that. It feels like there is this, like I said, there's this masculine expressing like feminine person but it's like putting in the work to achieve, almost like achieve some kind of balance, to move in an appropriate direction, or move forward in the appropriate direction. It's almost like you know that you have this goal or this path forward, and you know that the action that you need to take in order to strike appropriate balance, or work things out in an appropriate way in order to move, but it is moving in that direction. It is moving forward in that direction. But again, this feels like very specific to that. It doesn't feel like it's something that's fully out there. It feels like something that you're working on that isn't maybe necessarily aware of to other people, or made aware towards other people, right? Is how that feels. Anything else related to this? Mars in biquintile to the north node. Okay, nothing else. They're pulling me away from it. So anyway, that's then it for this week. So let me just bring it back to me here. So I'm just going to tune in here for a second to see maybe on an individual level how this could generally affect us, maybe on an individual level this week. Let me just tune into that. How it could all affect on an individual level. I feel like getting shit done. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in getting shit done. I feel, again, initially with that was, again, someone who is feminine, physically feminine, but expressing in a masculine way. It's like she's taking care of shit and getting shit done. Okay, it's the masculine expressing through the feminine that way. Like she's taken the power, she's taken hold, and is willing. She's the one that's willing to actually take care and actually get shit done. Okay, anything else with that on maybe an individual level? Because it almost feels like the masculine, there's something up with a masculine energy that it's almost like, how do I say this? Like very frustrated, almost like can't handle it or something, but it's like, but she's not afraid to get in there and get, and start expressing that masculine side of her. It's so that, but like I said, it's like a masculine energy working through the feminine. I don't know. I'm just the messenger, guys. I'm just saying this. Okay. Anything else surrounding this? But yeah, no, it's like she's taking charge, she's the boss and taking care of stuff, and she's just doing it, and she's doing a bang up job. That's what it really feels like. Let me just tune in now on like a global, political, economic kind of a scale in terms of this week. Again, what I get is a politician talking a bunch of bullshit. Again, I get that in general. I'm not, what I get is kind of actually more like Canadian politically. The image that I get is like Mark Carney. So take that for what you will. And it's just like, it's all talk. It feels like there's nothing else really surrounding. Like there's no, it feels like it's completely empty. The words are empty. It's completely empty on the back end. Like he's saying it's like for show, but it's completely empty on the back end. And what I get when I'm tuning in, I initially felt like, well, what about like other political leaders or politics? And it's like, they're the same way. It feels like to me, it's almost like they're putting up a front and then just say like, well, we're doing this, and then they just don't do anything. It's like they're not worth the money that you pay them. It's kind of what is really coming through with this. It's almost, I'm getting the vibe. It's like they're useless. They're basically useless. Anything else surrounding that? But it almost feels like when I'm feeling it, it's like they don't know what to do. It's like they don't know what to do anymore. It's like they're useless because they're not. It's almost like we're heading in a direction where the type of politics that they're used to isn't where we're going anymore. It's like we're moving in a new space, and what they're used to, it just doesn't fly anymore. They're useless. They're now useless because the way that they're used to doing things just isn't going to work. And it just like it's like they have no place any longer. Oddly enough, that's anything else surrounding that. It's like they're just continuing on with like what they're doing, but it's almost like it's dying off. It's like it's not working anymore. It's not whatever. It's just it's reached its end. It's reached its limit. It can't continue like that any longer. It's like they're going to keep trying to do it, but it's not. There's no traction. There's no traction to the tires. It's just going to keep spinning, and there's nothing that's going to accompany with this. There's nothing's going to happen with whatever they're talking about, whatever they're saying. Anything else surrounding that? Okay, that's it. That's it with that. Ending these videos on a very like controversial stuff in a way here. Anyways, that's kind of it for this week. So if you made it this far in the video, leave a purple heart in the comments so that I know you're a real one, and I hope to see you all in next week's video. Take care, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.